Jenny McCarthy Show.
We're right on here. How are you, girl? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Oh my God, you smell like flowers in summer. And
So much hairspray.
it's better than what I smell like last night. Congratulations on this amazing album, Let's Be Frank, a new album celebrating Frank Sinatra. Well, you know, we know you for country music. Why Sinatra?
I have wanted to make a standards record for about 20 years. My mom was born in 1937, and we used to watch all these old movies, and I love these songs. And a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, they did a 100th birthday celebration for Frank. The Grammys did. And I sang, and Don was the musical director. He said, have you ever thought about making a record of these songs? I'm like, every day. I want to make this record. And so we just got our schedules connected, and he was really the catalyst to kind of focus it on Frank and to get it done, you know, not just keep talking about it.
Did you feel pressure?
I felt pressure because a lot of the musicians and the engineer, Al Schmidt, has 20 Grammys and worked with Frank. You know, when you walk in to sing with these guys, you want them to go, I think Frank would have liked this chick, you know, this broad, you know. It's like, so I felt that pressure and wanting to do the songs justice and wanting to do them respectfully. But once I got in there, I just was like, I feel like I just got to do what I do, and I enjoyed myself so much. It was so much fun.
Trust your gift. I heard that did you use the microphone that Sinatra used?
I did. You know, you would think those things would be at the Smithsonian, but they use them. And there's a working studio at Capitol. So you walk in and there's the Frank microphone. And then they're like, if you want to sit on this bar stool, this is Frank's. And I mean, they had pictures of him sitting on this bar stool and singing on this microphone. And you're just like,
that's so cool.
Why are you letting me in here with this stuff? You know, but it was really amazing.
I was going to say, did it come with its own security guard or something?
It came with its own vibe, you know. It was like, it's so cool.
Well, speaking of vibes, did that give you the vibe? Did it help you? Or
I think it did. You know, you walk in, and when you walk down the hall before you ever go into the studio, there's black and white photographs on the wall of Dean Martin and Judy Garland and Keely Smith and Frank Sinatra, and you're just like, there's so much history in this room. I believe it's in the walls, you know, so you can't, it absolutely just set the scene.
Now, which songs did you agonize over?
You know, I was the interesting thing was just I had about 100 songs that I wanted to do.
I'm sure you did.
And I'm like, okay, that we're gonna have to narrow them down. And I really was having trouble. And Don said, well, look, you're gonna have to pick the songs. I can't pick them for you. You got to pick the ones you want. And so he actually kind of did it like a homework assignment. We got together and he said, okay, if you had to write down the 12 that you want to do right now, just write them down. You have to write it. And like you stood over me like a teacher, and I wrote these 12 songs down. So I guess somehow stream of consciousness, these were the ones I wanted to do, and that's what we did.
Isn't that interesting? You need sometimes to get out of your own way sometimes and just kind of connect to source, and it will come out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's one of those things where I hope I get to make more of these because now I got about 80 more songs I got to get covered.
Is there anyone besides Frank Sinatra?
Oh, lots of people. You know, I mean, this is called Let's Be Frank. I just went to see Cher a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, how about Let's Be Cher?
Oh my God, I'm not kidding.
But I mean, and I grew up on one of my biggest musical influences is Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, I love Linda.
I love her so much.
Me too.
I could do. You know, I could do.
That'd be amazing.
But it's as a singer, and I think a lot of artists feel this way. We're always looking for original songs, and it's really cool. But it's so much fun to sing someone else's songs.
I bet
it's really fun. You know, so I don't know why there's not more of that. I
was gonna say, why isn't there more? Of that?
I don't know. But
is it because of the money?
I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's. I don't know that
you still get to tour. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really. It's really. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you this was so much fun. I would do it again.
I'm waiting for Let's Be Cher. Let me tell you. But right now, that's Let's Be Frank. How's your new dog, Millie?
Millie's good.
What kind of dog is she?
She's a mutt. She's a mix. I'm not sure. I know she has a little bit of pit. I think she has maybe a little bit of border collie. She's got a lot of attitude right now. She's a very frisky little puppy, and my sister's here with me, and she's great. We've always had rescues, and we have a dog named Emmy who is a rescue, and we're down to one. And I was like, she really needs a friend. So
I just did the same thing.
But I think my dog. I don't know how my dog is like. I don't know, why did you bring this? Why have you done this to me? She doesn't love her yet. She's close.
Well, I wound up getting two. I had one that was like, oh, it needs a play date. So I got two, and one became best friends, and the other one's like, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'm glad I got two.
Yeah.
But my son started a dog adoption series on YouTube where he goes around and makes videos for people to do dog adoption. So I think it's great.
That's wonderful.
It's wonderful, except I feel like the hypocrite that bought the dogs. And my son is like this beautiful spirit that's, I'm like, you know what? I guess we balance each other out.
It's like
then.
adopt, don't shop, Mom.
I know. I can learn a lot from him. Your husband, Garth Brooks, says the most amazing things about you. What's the one line that gets you what he says to you? Or about you?
When he says, I found you in this lifetime and I'll find you in the next. He says that to me. That's one that made me cry just thinking about it.
I mean, when I was speaking to him about you, he literally started crying. And it so reminded me of my husband. Like, he says the same thing. Like, I'm like, oh my God, he's in love.
But he will also make fun of me because I'm not as a crier. I mean, I cry some, but I'm not really a crier. So I'll, when I say something about how sweet it is and how, how in love he is, he's like, yeah, he says, you don't really know what that's like, but it's really great.
You know what though? Don't you think that that's a balance though? And that's why you're attracted? Because Donnie and I are the same thing. He always calls me like the dude.
That's exactly what Garth says. He's like, you're such a dude. I'm like, well, you cry at commercials. I mean, you got it. It's like, there's a balance. It is a balance.
It is. And like Valentine's Day's today, and I'm like, he's so incredibly romantic. He'll come up with these amazing things, and I'm like, here's $100. Go buy yourself something pretty. Like, that's my take.
It's totally me.
Right? So what do you guys do? What did you guys do today?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen him yet today.
But gift-wise, like, did you?
But there'll be, I mean, from him,
Yeah.
I mean, it probably will be, I mean, he will always send something. So even when we're together, he'll send something. So and I'm really that girl at the last minute going, I probably should go get a card or something. Like, I'm just terrible like that.
Me too.
He's everybody, because a lot of times with Valentine's Day, I've been asked a lot the last couple of days, who's the more thoughtful? I'm like, hands down, he is. He's the romantic. He's the one who's always the thoughtful guy. And he's not also a guy who wants anything. So, if a framed photograph of us is something that he would love. He doesn't want, I can't buy him a car. He didn't want anything like that,
I literally said this 1 hour ago upstairs. I'm like, all Donnie wants is a picture in a frame. Like,
this is the funniest story. This is what I gave him for Valentine's Day. And we were when he was Entertainer of the Year for the CMAs. And this has been 2 years ago. And they gave us we had a party and there was a cake, and they did one of those things where they take a photograph of the two of you and they make it into chocolate.
Totally.
And it was in this little chocolate frame, and he loved it so much. He's like, we have to take it home and keep it forever. And I'm like, okay. So we took the little chocolate picture home, and then I dropped the chocolate picture, and the frame broke. The picture was still intact, but now the picture has a little bit of chocolate smeared. I mean, it's not perfect or whatever. And he was so devastated that I broke the chocolate frame. So for his birthday, which is a week ago, so kind of in Valentine's Day mode, I took the chocolate. I said, okay, I know this is weird. This is chocolate, but I need you to frame it in a brown frame that looks like chocolate.
That's so cute.
And I gave it to him.
Did he love it?
He loved it so much. It
that
was the best thing I could have given him.
See, that's so thoughtful of you.
Well, I just felt bad. I mean, I broke the chocolate frame.
You guys are so funny. I'm talking to Trisha Yearwood, her album Let's Be Frank. What is it about your marriage? Because people ask me and Donnie that all the time that, it's butterflies still.
Oh, yeah. I think for us, we laugh a lot. We really do enjoy each other's company. We got married later. I was 40 years old. So we kind of knew what we wanted and we knew what we didn't want.
Right.
And I don't think we would have done it otherwise. And so I think it was just when you know, you know. And I didn't realize I didn't know for my whole life up until him. I didn't realize that I was really but now I understand why nothing worked out the way it was supposed to, because this is where I was supposed to be.
I feel like you're telling my story. I swear to God, it's so identical. Like, Donnie and him remind me of each other. And you had a stepchild with him, right? You have a stepkid?
He's got 3 daughters, yeah.
3 daughters.
Bonus mom is what I call it.
Yeah.
Because it's like they have a mom, and it's a chance to be another adult in their life that loves them. And when we got married, they had to give their blessing and permission. And so we all got married. We exchanged rings. They got little rings and wore little wedding dresses and everything.
Was it an immediate bond?
I mean, it was for me. It was hard because I had a dog before we got together, so I'd never even babysat. So I was like, I don't know what to do with these little people. Like, I don't know how to do this. And Garth was wonderful because he's like, don't try to be their mom. They have a mom. Don't try to be their best friend. Just, you'll find your way with each child. And that's really the way it evolved. It was, I think at first they were kind of like, okay, she's nice, but we don't really know what to do with her. And then over time, it really did evolve. And now they're in their 20s, all of them. And I have I have a wonderful relationship with all three of them in slightly different ways because they're individuals. And it's a blessing I didn't even know I was missing, you know.
Right? And one is in music, right? One is singing?
Yeah, the youngest is a singer-songwriter. She's in Nashville. She just graduated from college.
Would you guys ever do something together?
Well, I mean, we're trying really hard to let her find her own way. I would absolutely do something with her in the future, but I want her to, you know, she might not want to do something with me. I mean, I'm really old. She's really cool. She's like 22 years old. So.
I know. I asked my son, do you want me to be on your YouTube channel? He was like, no way. Stay far away from that. Trisha Yearwood, congratulations. I love you and your husband and your album, Let's Be Frank. You guys pick it up. It's a new album celebrating Frank Sinatra. Listen to that Chicago accent. Let's be frank. Thank you so much. Come back anytime and give Garth my love.
I will. Give Donnie my love.
I will. Let's take a picture. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!